All right, we're back in the film room. As you can see, we're doing things a bit differently in that we have to break down the most confusing roster in the entire NBA, and that's the 7-11 Orlando Magic. And I'm really just going to break down 3 reasons why they're at where they're at from a roster perspective. First things first is the terrible trade for Ibaka. Yes, he's on the last year of his deal, back end of his career, going to be looking to get paid. And in that, they gave up Oladipo, who I wasn't a huge fan of, but he's playing pretty well right now in OKC. And Sabonis, who's shooting it at over 40% from 3. Oladipo's actually shooting it around 38 at this current time. So they lost some guys who can space the floor, especially Sabonis, a young big who can get out and play. The second is their love for Jeff Green and sitting Aaron Gordon. And then they're putting Aaron Gordon at a 3 spot. And we all know he's not a 3. He's a 4, or maybe a small ball 4, 6'8", 6'9". He can't stretch the floor, especially right now. So he's playing out of position all the time. And then last but not least is that they don't play Hezonja. So whether they like him or not, who knows, but he was the 5th pick in the draft, and they're not playing him. And then I guess 3.1, 3.2, whatever you want to call it, is Elfrid Payton is just not doing much. 30 minutes a game, 10 points per game, 42% from the field, and 19 from 3. So he's not really your Rondo type where he's controlling the pace and dictating tempo and being that floor general, and yet he doesn't space the floor. So without further ado, let's get into the film. All right, here we go. Magic Bucks from the other night. And it happens instantly, and this is something that you see all the time, is that guys are so slow to get where they need to go. It's like they don't know what they're doing. All right, here we go. Problem 2. Right here, Aaron Gordon. I like the guy. Again, what did we mention before? He's a 3. So what is everybody going to do on any dribble handoff, any down screen? They're going under. Henson gives space, allows Dellavedova to go under. He can't shoot. Definitely not going to step back and hit this shot. Problem. Can't happen. Boom. Third. Let's scroll back a little bit here because we skipped ahead. Him in pick and roll situations. I'm seeing this a bit. He's not a guy who's going to be a playmaker here. Doesn't attack. The angle is way too wide. A guy who is a true 3, his angle game is going to be better. More attacking Henson at this angle, creating a space, so then Vooch can get over the top. Instead, he takes a wide angle off of this screen. That doesn't work. Nothing's open. All right, here we go. So now what do we do? This is what Orlando's done all year. Plays start to break down, get it into Vooch. Oh, what do we have here, though? We got a 19% three-point shooter. So now we can help down here. We can get on the boxes. We can get on the elbows because outside of Watson, there's no floor spacers. Okay, no floor spacers equals a kick out. Nothing. Not a playmaker. Not a guy who can do it off of the dribble. All right, taking a look at something else that drives me crazy with this Magic team. Again, in the film room, patterns of behavior is not just a one-time thing. At this point in the game, Delly has come off of this high screen and roll a handful of times. Biyombo, Elfrid Payton, 2 athletic, known as defenders in this league, and there's just a ton of lazy switching that happens. So Milwaukee doesn't take advantage of it, but look at this. You've got Payton on the Greek Freak. This has happened again a handful of times, and it's not just known guard-to-guard switching or anything like that. They just do this, just bad communication or lazy defense. All right, again, they don't take advantage. Payton does a good job upping the ball, getting it up the floor. Now they're going into high-low. For some of you guys who are not huge X's and O's, you say, what is high-low? We're taking the ball from high, dumping it in low. You see this with 2 post players. It doesn't have to be 2 post players, but you see it all the time. If there's both guys on block to block like they shouldn't be, you'll see a high post flash right there to the nail. You'll see it coming from the weak side wing, the corner, all these angles to get you in. When you run in high-low properly, you got to have a good passer here where Vooch is, a guy who can, you'd prefer that he could space the floor, so you're seeing this with stretch 4s. Orlando's trying to do this, but Vooch at best is a 30% three-point shooter, maybe, and then Biyombo is not a guy who can play with his back to the basket. Not a guy that can accept double teams. No one's really even going to do that. I think here they're just trying to get a turnover or something. And then, the story of the season is they just don't have the playmakers either on the perimeter. So you got a ton of bigs, guys playing out of position. And again, that's why you're 7-11 on the year.